we become victimized with violent intents, we will have walked in vain.
The words of Martin Luther King Jr. still ring true today, and we can celebrate his words and his life through film. The first movie we're watching is a documentary.
I would hope that the president means what he says when he says that there should always be room for dissent.
2007's King, Man of Peace in a Time of War, includes rare archival footage of King and interviews with other influential civil rights leaders, including Malcolm X and Reverend Jesse Jackson.
We marched in Chicago in 1966. We could only live in certain blocks.
You can stream the doc now on Amazon Prime.
We're not asking, we're demanding. Give us the vote!
Next up, Selma stars David Oyelowo as Dr. King on his march from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery, an historic uprising that led to President Lyndon B. Johnson signing the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Dr. King, this thing's just gonna have to wait.
It cannot wait.
You got one big issue, I got 101.
The film was released in 2014, got 4 Golden Globe nominations and 2 Oscar nominations, and you can also watch it now on Amazon Prime.
May I have a word?
There's no word to be had.
Last up, 2008's Oscar-nominated documentary short, The Witness from the Balcony of Room 306.
A lot of people claim to have been on that balcony when Dr. King was shot down, but Billy was actually the only one on that balcony.
This 30-minute doc follows the time leading up to King's death in 1968 and features an interview with the only man on the balcony with King when he was shot, Reverend Samuel Billy Kiles.
Martin stood here and I stood right next to him.
The film is a regular feature at the National Civil Rights Museum at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, but you can watch it now on YouTube.
You can kill the dreamer, but you cannot. I must tell you that you cannot kill the dream.
Keeping Dr. King's dream alive on the hot list.
A very good way to remember a great man and a great American. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, I'm Shagun Abdul-Loeb. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and in his famous I Have a Dream speech, he called for us to remember that we are all created equal. Included in that are Americans with disabilities. Today, only 20% of working-age people with Down syndrome are employed. But the world's first all-Down syndrome improv group is looking to change that. Christina Guerrero looks at standing up for Downs, and that's our featured story on the top of the list.
The job hunt is not an easy venture for anyone, but for those with Down syndrome, it's even harder.
There's a perception that they don't fully understand everything, that they can't get everything, that physically they might not be able to do certain things.
Rob Snow, comedian and father to a child with Down syndrome, knew he needed to shift that perception, so he set out to create change.
I said, let's do comedy. And I thought if I could teach individuals with special needs some of these skills that improv teaches, then we could greatly enhance their social and workplace opportunities.
So he created a pathway, and
we cast the world's first all Down syndrome improvisation troupe. That was a cast of 10 individuals that created the Improvineers.
And tonight, we have an alarming story.
But first, I wanted to say how nice you look tonight.
The actors go through the Improvineer method, a program designed to hone specific skills to take with them into the workforce.
And these skills are like, you know, things like problem solving and quick thinking, eye contact, voice projection, teamwork, focus, listening, assertiveness, all of these amazing skills.
Do I have to come up there?
One actor that has really shined in the program is Nick Doyle.
We cast Nick, and then throughout the year, he became the leader of the group. They all look up to him.
It feels like I'm a big brother to the Improvineers. Great job, great job.
He's made such an impact that Rob has hired him and is now his right-hand man.
He sits in the meeting with me, he contributes in the meetings, he gets to tell his story, and I can't think of a better person to help us market this program than someone who's benefiting so much from it.
And I have a goal in mind to be a famous actor one day.
to watch them grow and to watch their excitement after every performance is like, you know, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Great job, buddy.
It's just beautiful to watch them.
I'm thankful for you guys. You guys are like my family. Whatever we do, nothing can stop us. Yeah!
Shattering stereotypes and creating opportunity through humor is on the top of the list.
No fear, profiteer! No fear, profiteer!
Such a beautiful story. Now, we all know the importance of a good night's rest, but what happens when your sleep partner is the one keeping you awake? Jimmy Rhodes says there's a new term for an old problem. It's called a sleep divorce.
To bring our A game, we need our Z's.
Sleep is one of the most important things in our lives to make sure that our health is great, that our relationships are great, and that we're just performing well in everyday life.
Seth Davis is a professional sleep coach and owner of Sleepably, who often counsels co-sleeping couples. Sounds romantic, right? Well,
surveys have shown that about 25% of people in the U.S. are currently sleeping apart, and another 40% would like to.
That's upwards of 65% of couples who want to kick their partners out of bed. The trend even has a name, sleep divorce, and we're running down the right way to get one. For starters, tap the brakes.
Before two people go straight to the sleep divorce, work together to try to find solutions.
Restless sleeper, hot sleeper, snorer. Attack the underlying problem first.
Whether the problem is medical in nature or has to do with the sleep environment, there are many things that can be tried.
If none of those solutions work, it's time for an awkward conversation. Enter relationship expert and matchmaker Joanne Cohen. She says to start, soften the blow.
How do you bring this up? First, tell the person what we like about the relationship and what we appreciate about them.
Yeah, it sounds like how you start every breakup, but do it anyway. Next, use inclusive language.
Make it a we problem, not a you problem. So it's not that you snore so much that I have to sleep in another room. It's like we have different sleep patterns.
It's not you, it's we. Okay, this might hit your sleep partner like a ton of bricks, so don't start with a life sentence.
Make it a trial and see how it works.
Seth agrees. Stay flexible.
Some people sleep 5 nights a week apart and come back together on the weekends. You know, there's always room to experiment, figure out what's going to work best.
Next, to avoid hurt feelings, up the touch.
Make sure you're snuggling before you go into your separate beds and that you still have a lot of intimacy in your relationship.
And speaking of intimacy, be sure to book the love calendar.
You can schedule date nights and you also can schedule sex nights.
Is that a rule?
I think like every day should be a sex day.
Let me make sure my wife heard that.
Every day should be a sex day.
Bottom line?
People who do sleep divorces, they're both getting enough sleep, their mood is improved, their libido often improves, and nobody's resenting each other for costing them sleep. So done correctly, sleep divorces can actually lead to stronger relationships.
We're saving your Z's and your relationship with a sleep divorce.
Thanks, Jimmy. Now it's time to toss off the covers and get out in the ice and snow. Christina Guerrero found some winter sports so wild and wacky, you won't believe them. So check these out.
Hurtling along snow or ice on metal blades isn't insane enough? We'll check out these other weird winter sports. Let's start with horse ski joring.
Ski joring is putting a skier behind a horse with a 30-foot rope, asking the skier to go around 16 to 20 gates, a few jumps, and the horse to go wide open.
Still not crazy enough? Well, the skiers also try to gather rings that are suspended along the course and stack them on their arms.
The guys that are doing it successfully have some ski racing behind them, or a lot of skiing under the belt, and know a few things about what the horse might do.
The whole race only lasts about 20 to 30 seconds and takes skiers at speeds up to 40 miles an hour.
Skill set is missing a few brain cells and making some calculated decisions and definitely accepting the risk.
Next, why waste that snow shovel on your driveway when you can use it for racing?
It's kind of a crazy idea, but a lot of people end up really liking the feel of it.
Felt great. Let's do it again.
Shovel racing started in the 1970s at the Angel Fire Resort in New Mexico.
The course is 1,000 feet long with a 400-foot vertical drop.
The resort still hosts the World Championship. The record for the fastest time is 13.5 seconds at almost 75 miles an hour.
Oh, wow. That set a record, I think, for height of shovel.
Finally, there's fat bike racing.
3, 2, 1, begin! Off you go!
You've probably probably seen them before, mountain bikes with tires that are at least 4 to 5 inches wide. This makes them perfect for winter races that usually take place on snow-covered cross-country type trails. There are races all over the country, but the premier race in North America takes place on the 65-mile-long American Birkebeiner Trail in Cable, Wisconsin. Snow and ice and sleet, oh my! That's a look at the wild world of weird winter sports.
Welcome back, folks. We all want clothes that are fresh and squeaky clean, but a lot of the tips and hacks you hear are just dirty lies. So we're washing away the confusion of laundry myths.
Get ready, because we're coming clean as we debunk laundry myths.
There are a ton of things that people believe to be true, and they aren't.
To help sort fact from fiction, we turn to the queen of clean herself, Linda Cobb. We're kicking it off with our first loaded myth: more detergent equals cleaner clothes.
Listen, Linda, you may be the queen of clean, but I am the king of sweat. And I know when I come back from the gym and my clothes are dirty, you're saying I don't need an extra cap full of detergent to get all of that out?
That's what I'm telling you.
Really?
Because it's like washing your hair and not rinsing out the shampoo.
Now, I have no idea about washing.
Well, you know what? Think back.
Okay, I remember the good old days.
Yeah, there you go. Measure it. It'll cost less money when you're using it. It'll do a better job.
Next up on our laundry list of myths: wash your jeans frequently.
Lots of people think that, but that's so true.
Okay.
It's a good way to ruin your jeans. Probably every 5, 6, 7 wears is enough.
Really? But if I'm not washing the jeans as often as I wash my normal clothes, how do I keep them at least smelling somewhat and looking somewhat fresh?
You're going to take them and put them into an empty dryer.
Okay.
Throw in a handful or so of ice cubes.
Really?
Turn it on for 10 to 20 minutes and the steam will freshen them.
And they'll look good too, and you're not ruining your jeans.
And our final phony fact is: always use fabric softener.
You know, the thing with fabric softener, seriously, is that it coats the fibers on clothes. So you want to stay away from that.
So instead, Linda says make your own dryer balls made of aluminum foil.
All I'm doing is taking foil.
All you need is 2 sheets of foil 3 feet long and roll them together.
They get heated up so they dry the clothes faster, and the metal takes away the static electricity.
She recommends 3 in a small load and 6 in a large load. And for the fragrance, toss in a washcloth with a few drops of your favorite essential oils.
Any fragrance you like, and throw the dryer balls in and you're done.
Now we can iron out the illusions by debunking laundry myths.
Tinfoil dryer balls and essential oils, goodbye fabric softener. But you know, clothes aren't the only thing that need a good cleaning. You need to declutter your tech-filled brain. Teresa Strasser has 3 digital detox destinations where you can let it go. It's all on the buzz list. Teresa.
Thanks. These places will have you off the grid with no cell service and no Wi-Fi. So happy vacationing. At number 1, Summit Prairie, a fire lookout tower in rural Oregon that has around 300 people on its waiting list. For $175 a night, you'll be sleeping 40 feet up in the air and waking up to this stunning view.
They built these things on outcroppings of rock or on top of hills so that you had a 360-degree view so that whoever was staffing it could actually see any fires and then they would be able to report them down.
Yeah, you're gonna get gorgeous pics, but remember, no Wi-Fi means no posting on Instagram until you're home. The humanity. At number 2, Tree Bones Resort. For about $320 a night, you can glamp in this gorgeous Central California yurt, or starting at $175 per night, a seaside campsite with twig huts. And here's a new one, a human nest.
We're always looking at what we have here, and we're always looking for how to make it better and how to make it more magical. And we always take a moment to just be thankful for where we've come from and where we are.
And I'm sure it's easier to be thankful when the only chirping and tweeting you hear is from birds, not your phone. And third on our list of digital detox destinations, by far the most expensive on our list, Sheldon Chalet, located in Alaska's Denali National Park. You will take a helicopter ride into this luxurious getaway that offers world-class food, breathtaking views of the surrounding glacier, all for a whopping $2,000 per night.
Yep, bucket list trip. Bucket list trip. Absolutely, everybody should come and experience this.
Yeah, $2,000 might seem $2,000, but look at it. Beautiful places to unplug and unwind on the buzz list.
All those places look awesome. You know, I think I'll add a couple to my bucket list. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. You know, sometimes inventors make amazing discoveries by accident. The microwave oven, penicillin, even the Slinky were mistakes. But when chefs make a blunder, it can be a bonanza for your taste buds. We're sampling a few tasty accidents.
Some of the world's greatest inventions weren't even meant to be. The Slinky, penicillin, and even the microwave came to us by accident.
So when scientists set out to create new inventions, it's not always what they plan, and they end up creating genius. And the same thing can even happen in the kitchen.
In fact, some of America's most popular snack foods are actually just tasty mistakes.
Oh, chocolate.
Arizona Science Center's chief scientist, Sari Custer, has a list of these delicious miracles, starting with the iconic Slurpee.
You know what would be good right now? Slurpee!
The 7-Eleven Slurpee was actually born in a Kansas City Dairy Queen back in the 50s when Omar Nedlick's soda fountain broke.
He ended up shoving some bottles of soda in the freezer, and when he served them and cracked the top, guess what? They were icy.
So all of that frozen goodness happened by accident?
Happened by accident, and that led to the creation of eventually the Slurpee.
7-Eleven licensed the machines in the 60s and started serving up the beloved near-frozen concoction. These days, more than 13 million are sold worldwide.
Now that's a cool invention. I can't wait to get these in the oven.
It's hard to imagine a world without a chocolate chip cookie, which is our next tasty accident.
Is it time to bake a Nestle Toll House cookie?
In the 1930s, Ruth Graves Wakefield, owner of the Toll House Inn, located in Whitman, Massachusetts, was baking cookies for her guests.
She was going to make chocolate cookies, ran out of baker's chocolate, ended up chopping up a Nestle semi-sweet bar and tossing it into her cookies, thinking that it would seep into the rest of the cookie.
Okay.
Didn't happen. She ended up pulling it out of the oven and had chunks of melted, gooey chocolate, and thus, your favorite cookie was born.
Ah, just like Mrs. Wakefield used to make in the original Toll House kitchen.
We'll end on a crunchy note with the potato chip. In 1852, Chef George Crumb of Saratoga Springs, New York, was frustrated with a customer who kept sending his fries back.
He wanted them thinner, he wanted them crispier, so the chef thought he was being saucy, and just razor sliced some potatoes, fried them until they were rock hard, doused them in salt, and served them, thinking he had one on the customer.
Right.
Turns out, they loved them, and so did the rest of America.
And we still love our potato chips. Americans eat nearly 2 billion pounds each year. Raising our glasses to food science.
Cheers to science.
With tasty inventions.
Thank goodness for happy accidents. Hard to imagine life without potato chips.